So I am doing a segment called, well, I haven't really figured out what it's called. I'm going to be honest, I haven't. Let's go with Dora files. I don't know. We have 10 minutes to answer a question on a live that I did this morning. I asked the question, what kind of question would you like to ask Dora about my alter ego, about just travel in general, adventures, just a random question. Doesn't have to be about myself and I'll answer it, right? So, oops, that's just my bottles of water because I have 50 million bottles of water floating around. I've drank 2 litres already this morning and it is 10:36 a.m. It is Monday morning here. I went for a walk on the beach, day 56, and I'm off to pick up a client. So I've got a half an hour drive, but I've got 10 minutes to answer this question. I'm not sure if I'm going to edit out, like, you know, the steering wheel, because that's kind of a bit of annoying, right? But anyway, a question came from my dear friend and dear friend of the community. She's not just my friend, she's your friend too. Simply Debbie Sue. Now, wow, that was just a really nice, like, old kind of, yeah, American car, but it was like a ute. Wow, cool. Sidetrack, sorry guys. Debbie Sue. The question comes from Simply Debbie Sue. Most of us know Debbie Sue. She's a great supporter of everyone's channel. So we really need to support Debbie Sue because she's a supporter of everyone's channels and their lives. I see her on my channel. I see her on other people's lives. She's always active in the chat too, like, you know, putting info in and you know, giving input. So she's not just, you know, in there for the chat for a couple of minutes and then out of there kind of thing. She's there for the whole time. And I even say to her, go do something else, you know, like, you don't have to watch me, that's for sure. Let's welcome Simply Debbie Sue into the Karen Bun Club. So, what was Debbie Sue's question today on the Dora files? It was, what was it? I kind of know, but I'm trying to get it in the right words and I can't completely remember, right? So it was, where have you felt like home, but it wasn't? Very good question. When I saw that come up, now the only reason I saw it because, you know, I'm walking and I can't see the chat because I'm not going blind, but it's just the sun's on the screen. I can't see. And then smart ass Susan, she puts it in like capitals so I can see it. It helps actually, to be honest. I'd have a good old giggle if I went to the chat one day and everyone's comments were in capitals. Anyway, I missed it because, you know, I'm famously, you know, I'm walking. But I was like trying to go backwards a little bit. Anyway, I said to people, if you've got a question and I've missed it, you know, copy it and paste it again. Anyway, Susan from High Country Homestead put lots and lots of input into, she's got some really good questions, so I screenshotted a few of them. And then Bill Myers, the first person that gave me a question, I answered that on my first Dora files. So if you haven't seen that, you should go see that. I'll put a little picture of it here. And then my second one was by Susan. Now Susan's really good with words, so she's going to ask me a lot of questions. So you're going to see a lot of Susan questions come up, okay? Yeah, and which I'm not, you know, I'm down for, right? But she actually said, she answered some really good ones. One of them was really good that I've screenshotted all of them, guys. So I will answer, not all of them, but, you know, I'll get around to it, right? I don't know when, but I will. But the one from today I'm answering is from Debbie Sue, and Susan was like, look above, because she saw, like, that's a good question, by Debbie Sue. And Debbie Sue is a little bit of a poet, and she knows it, right? She writes really good poetry, and she's a really good storyteller. So if you go to her channel, that's what you'll see at Simply Debbie Sue's, right? She's from Virginia, in the Highlands. So my last question was from Susan, and it asked, where would you live if you could permanently? Debbie Sue said she loves where she lives in the Virginia mountain area, but she said if she could, she'd go to Ireland. So if you haven't seen that video, I answered it in 10 minutes. I kept to the 10 minutes and I added a bit of, you know, Karen Bun Club fun. So you should go check out that one. I'm going to put that there. So let's answer the question. I'll put the question here and I'm going to answer it. So basically, a roundabout, it said, where did it feel like home, but it wasn't? Now guys, this is a really good question, because when I travel, and they're there for like 1 or 2 days at least, you know, you start to kind of get that home feeling, like, you know, you get into that routine, you know where the corner shop is, you know where the bottle shop is, where the wine is, you know where, you know, you can get some water, you know, like, you know, the room is, you know, familiar now, you know, it's not just like somewhere you stay for one night, so you feel getting a little bit more familiar, and then you start feeling like you're coming home to the room after an amazing day out of sightseeing, right? So like, yeah, I have this feeling many a time. So this is why it's a really good question. So when I saw that come up, Debbie, so I was like, yes, that's a great question, so thank you. And I've been gabbing for 6 minutes. So to answer the question, okay, there's so many places, oh my God, so many places, oh my God, what do I pick? Where does it feel like home, but it wasn't? Paris, it was the last place I was internationally, and one of the videos that I am trying to edit, but procrastinated and haven't finished it, is actually talking about how I really want to, I'm going to live in Paris for 3 months. One day soon. I'm putting it out to the universe. I put it out in my last video. If you watched that, you would have seen at the end I said that's where I want to live for 3 months in my future. But yeah, so I felt like home there. It really, I was in an apartment. Okay, I'm going to take you there, okay? So I am a backpacker at heart, right? I am a cheapskate. Well, like, I'm not exactly a cheapskate. It's just like, I can't afford to travel and stay in big hotels, and I don't stay very long in the room. I'm just there for like literally asleep and somewhere to put my backpack, right, and charge my things, and then I'm out of there. So I don't really care where I sleep, as long as it's kind of safe and, you know, I'm not getting bitten by bed bugs, because I do that a lot. I get bitten by stuff all the time. So when I was in France, I actually, because Paris is so expensive, right? So expensive. I stayed 2 nights in a backpackers. It's about $150 a night Australian. It's like $75 US dollars. It's expensive. I mean, it's a good location. It didn't come with breakfast or anything. I'm sharing the room with, like, you know, other strangers. Crazy, hey? Anyway, so I was offered 2 nights accommodation at my friend's sister's house, and she lives on the outskirts of Paris. Right next to the metro, you take the metro straight in and it goes straight into town. So it's brilliant, right? And oh my gosh, I'd heard about this place from my friend. Well, I went to France because she was getting married in Lyon, right, to her French partner, and she's Mexican. I met her in the year 2000. You learn about that in my last video. And she told me, she goes, oh my gosh, my sister lives in a really good location. She lives right next to a really good market. She goes, if you're there on a Sunday, get her to take you there. I went, oh, okay, yeah. She goes, do you like oysters? I love oysters. So I'm a foodie, right? So there's fresh oysters, just fresh everything. And the market was so cool. But it was just so cool. When the family went, I went and, you know, was able to, like, you know, have a cup of tea and just feel like, and look out the window, and I felt like I was living my Parisian dream. Like, I felt like, pinch me, I'm in the moment, right? I'm there. It really felt like it. So, and I felt like I was home. Like, I walked into the market and it was so cool. So, I mean, I don't speak French, but I felt so at home. There was fresh produce. They were giving samples out of all the fresh produce, like the fresh mango. Oh my goodness. They look so good. And strawberries. Of course, I was filling up on that, right? And watermelon. Because it was May, so it was kind of the start of the winter, the start of summer. So all the fresh summer fruits were out. It was so good. So I was filling up on that, right? But I went there specifically to get oysters. French oysters, huh? Oh my gosh, that was so good. Of course, when you have oysters, you've got to have a little bit of wine. And then, like, mind you, this is 11 a.m. in the morning. Come on, somewhere in the world is, you know, cocktail hour. I was sitting there, I was smiling from chin to chin, chin to chin. Oh yeah.
you want to leave here?
Couldn't believe it. It was just a beautiful moment, and I could see myself doing this every Sunday. So long story short, Paris. Thank you, Debbie Sue, for that answer. I'd love to know, you guys, what would you think? Where's a place that you've been that felt like home, but it wasn't? Thanks for watching, and yeah, watch this last video somewhere, which was given to me by Susan, which was, where would you move to permanently if you could? Find out where Dora would move to. And check out the comments, because in the comments you will see other people saying, you know, where they would live. Like, for example, Sue put she would love to live in Ireland. Though she loves where she lives, like I love where I live, but if I could move somewhere permanently, I'd said, well, I'm not telling you where, you got to go watch the video, right? But Debbie Sue said she, even though she loves living in the mountain area of Virginia, she would love to go to Ireland. But from watching my video, she knows that I wouldn't live in Ireland because it's cold. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye. I hope you're enjoying this new series, because I tell you, I'm really enjoying putting these videos together. Funnily enough, I'm getting back into editing, so stay tuned. Longer videos are coming with adventures that I've been on recently. So here's one from yesterday, or the day before, or whenever I posted it last.